What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Shop Talk Tuesday. So in this episode, we are continuing the Forge series. Now, the whole point behind this series is to increase my forging ability and learn each week as I'm making these knives. Now, on this particular build, we're using a piece of Willys Jeep Leaf Spring material, and I didn't go into this with a profile or a template. I knew roughly what I wanted, and I decided to go ahead and just start forging and make this profile come into existence purely by the process of forging. Now, we're using a smaller piece of steel, so I've got to really think through where I'm going to be utilizing the steel to make the handle and the blade and be able to make a full-size knife out of this smaller size of steel. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to start forging and get this thing where we want it. Now, the whole point behind this process is, again, to develop my skills within forging. So we're going to be doing the bevels all with the forging process. We're going to be doing distal tapers on the tang and the blade, and all of that is just to help increase my hammer skills and be able to make me a more effective and more efficient knife maker. Guys, we'll have a little recap at the end, so if you're interested in some of my takeaways, stay till the end. You can hear that. As for right now, go ahead, enjoy, and watch the video. Alright guys, let's go ahead and wrap this Shop Talk Tuesday up here with some of the talking part of the Shop Talk Tuesday process, where I kind of recap the build video and talk about some of my takeaways and things that I learned in this process, plus things that I learned in the previous videos that helped impact this particular video and make the process easier on me. So for one, let's take a look at the knife. So this was made from a Willys Jeep leaf spring, so 5160. It's my favorite still that I work with, that Willys Jeep leaf spring material. Absolutely love it. I've made a lot of builds with it, and I kind of am at a point now to where I only make select builds with it because I don't want to waste it. It's my favorite still that I work with. I absolutely love it. Now what we did was we just took a little piece and we used the forging process to put the steel where I wanted it to be so that I can maximize the amount and not waste material like I did in the last episode, where I kind of I took too much steel and I made the blade way too long and I had to cut the end off of it to shrink it down a little bit. I didn't want to do that on this. I knew that I was going to have to come in and profile this a little bit because I didn't want to forge this little area in here and end up messing with my overall profile and being able to make everything even. But we were able to get the outer profile and the handle within a very small amount of grinding. So that was the point. And then of course we didn't grind anything on our bevels. These are completely forged, and then just a little bit of hand sanding to kind of clean things up and give me a nice transition for that brute to forge transition there, where it's a little bit clean and then goes up into that texture. Now the cool thing about this is, like I said, we were able to maximize the material because we did a double distal taper. Now I didn't bring the tang down too thin. It does have a gradual taper through it, but I did bring that blade down quite a bit. That is a very aggressive distal taper with a very thin tip. So we were able to bring our bevels down a little bit and then of course maximize our length by forging in the handle and drawing this back. So we were able to get this size of knife, which is a good size, just camp knife, or even if you want to use it in your kitchen, something like that. I think it turned out awesome. Plus what we were able to do is take some of the takeaways from the last Shop Talk Tuesday, where I made that other chef's knife, that Gyuto style chef's knife. Because I was able to work through the process in that build, it made this build easier. So whenever I went to go and forge the bevels and start forging in that edge, I knew that I needed to forge this lower half of the blade first. So I needed to forge from about here down. I used the round side of the rounding hammer, pretty aggressive, brought this all down, started thinning this out, got it roughly where it needed to be, and then I started forging the spine area and forged basically the top half, almost, let's say top third-ish of this right here. I started forging that and started really putting in that distal taper, and what that did, when I forged the bevels, it brought that tip up pretty drastic. It was really curved, really rounded. We were able to forge that, bring everything back down so that we had this nice cutting edge. That is the exact profile edge from the forging process. And that's what I wanted to accomplish. I wanted something that had that nice profile so that you could rock with it if you want. Plus it has a nice flat area. I think that this is a perfect profile for this style of knife. And being able to forge that all the way down and get to where you are at with this, it made my life a lot easier. And this was the whole point behind this series, was I was able to take things from the previous build and then the previous build and the previous build and start putting them into this one to be able to make it a lot cleaner. Now of course, hopefully next week's build is even cleaner than this. So the goal is learn as you go, do a build every single week, and just gradually increase that just knowledge of the way that steel moves, and being able to develop a process to make it easier on you. You know, these are 2-day knife builds. So each one of these, I'm pretty much starting on a Sunday, working on Sunday, working on Monday, finishing it Monday night, and then putting the video out on Tuesday. Now luckily I'm able to edit the video during the process, so it makes it a little bit easier. But I'm able to do these 2-day builds and do a knife every single week and learn each time I do this build process so that they're just cleaner and cleaner and cleaner and faster. And I think it's a good process. Hopefully y'all try and do some of that. I am of the mind that you do not have to forge a knife to be a knife maker. People do forging, people do stock removal. Both of those equate to knife making. If you're the person that thinks you have to forge a knife in order to call yourself a knife maker, you're incorrect. You are wrong. There's tons of knife makers that make all of the knives that you buy from Academy Sports Center and Cabela's and Walmart and all that stuff. Those knives are made by machines, and you love those brands. You love a Kershaw, you love a Spyderco, you love all those brands. Guys, if those people are knife making companies and knife makers, then absolutely somebody who does a knife by stock removal is a knife maker. So anyways, enough with that. With this, my process is learning the forging process to make my life easier. Each one of these steps, if it doesn't make my life easier, it doesn't make any sense for me to really learn it. I need to know it in order to be able to be a more effective knife maker and maximize steel and be a quicker knife maker. So that's why I'm doing these processes. Guys, that's about the end of this one. I want to hit on one little thing. One, Oleg, thank you for this wood. If y'all want to get some wood from him, this stuff is absolutely beautiful. Y'all know I use quite a bit of his wood. Knifewood.com. I'm going to leave it in a description below if you want to go check it out. He has, the best wood out there, and I think that is the reason why these scales and the way that I did them and everything is the reason why I decided to sand this area instead of just doing the full forge finish. I wanted kind of that brute to forge finish on there because I think that it elevates it, looks really elegant, especially for something that you would go camping with. But I wanted to hit on that real quick. Guys, that's the end of this one. Thank y'all for coming by. Thank y'all for spending the time with me. Give the video a thumbs up, subscribe. Y'all have an amazing day. Stay safe out there. I'll catch y'all next time.